Kids are not sleeping. I can hear them in the hall.
Hopefully hey, everybody. We are live. Thank you for joining us. My name's Jamie Spencer. I'm from Miss Jamie OT, and I'm here with Tanya Peterson. Hello. We are so excited that you guys are joining us tonight. So Tanya has recently been helping me learn a ton about LinkedIn and all the ways that it can help you. And a lot of people think that it's really just about finding a new job, which is not what I'm looking for. I don't really want to change jobs, but I am looking for new ways to connect and advocate for occupational therapy and find some really cool opportunities that I might not have access to without LinkedIn. So I'm so very grateful that Tanya has agreed to come on and partner with me to teach all these wonderful OTs about LinkedIn. So Tanya, tell us about you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And it's really an honor for me because I'll talk to anybody about LinkedIn. And you'll probably have to cut me off. That's why she's keeping me to a half hour, because she knows I'll talk about it. But yes, there is a common belief that if you're on LinkedIn, it's because you're trying to find another job. And I'm not looking for a job either. And I use LinkedIn daily. And the opportunities that I have come across, or actually have come to me, have been amazing and overwhelming at times. I've been on podcasts. I've been featured in articles as a subject matter expert. I've worked with doctors in Saudi Arabia. I've worked with therapists in the UK and Australia. Cool. I mean, it's a global platform. So if you want to connect with amazing professionals nationwide and globally, then LinkedIn is the place to be. So I'm super excited that we're sharing this knowledge tonight.
And there's definitely something really nice about not seeing pictures of anybody's dinner or, of their cat. Like, that stuff has its time and its place, but it's nice to be somewhere where you're actually, everybody that's there is interested in being a professional and advancing their career. And
yes. Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I get on Instagram for too long or Facebook, I leave with this icky feeling. And LinkedIn's not like that. LinkedIn is very inspirational. People are sharing content, they're sharing knowledge, they're boosting each other up. It's just a totally different vibe over there. And
I find a quote at least twice a day that I find some quote that I'm like, oh, that should be my wallpaper. Oh, that should be my wallpaper. Oh, I agree with that one. That should be my wallpaper.
I try to, when I'm doing my social media stuff, I try to finish with LinkedIn because it leaves me in a good place as opposed to Facebook where I feel kind of blah afterwards. So yeah.
Very cool. So Tanya and I have a lot of cool things coming up for you. We love our occupational therapy practitioner friends and our other educational friends, teachers, other people that we work with, healthcare professionals, and we want to help you in 2022 to start your year off right. And we've got a lot of free content. We've got a video today, we've got one Wednesday and one Friday, and then the big shebang, we've got a free 1.5-hour webinar on January 10th that we hope you'll sign up. I'm going to share the link right now. Okay. This is actually an AOTA approved webinar. So if you'd like to purchase CEUs, they are available for purchase. But if you just want the information, we've got a ton of great content. Tanya goes very much into detail. I know personally, not only just telling you what you should have, but then also why you need to have it, which makes it so much more valuable. Mm-hmm. And then we also have a resume and LinkedIn boot camp coming up January 22nd and 23rd. So if you want to go through the actual steps with a career strategist, as Tanya is, to help you update your resume, get it ready to go, get it implemented, done, and ready to send out. And then the following day, same thing with your LinkedIn, we have got you covered. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited about the boot camp because it's going to be all about implementation. We're going to cover a lot in the webinar, but the boot camp is going to take the strategies and the knowledge and actually have them applied to your platforms and your resume so you can see changes that day. So I'm really excited. I love taking action. So I'm really excited about the boot camp.
And I like also that we built into the boot camp, into the agenda, and we'll be sharing that with everybody later, that everybody can ask questions and there'll be opportunities to share your resume, share your LinkedIn. Tanya's going to go over it publicly if you don't mind. And just point out what are the key things that people are doing that are great. What are the key things that people are doing that are not okay. So this is just going to be a really cool opportunity. So without further ado, why don't we get moving on our slides.
Yes. All right. So I'm in control over here. All right. So we're going to talk about LinkedIn tonight and why you need to be on the platform. And I am being completely honest. We only are doing this for a half hour tonight. So the amount of information I'm going to give to you is going to just touch the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to LinkedIn. And like I said, if Jamie would let me, I'd talk you guys all night. But she's cutting me off in a half hour. So I'm going to try to stick to 3 main points. And I have some silly videos to start us off with to get us all in the mood to learn about LinkedIn. So let me jump into that. I don't know if you know this, Jamie, but hiring season is this quarter. So
I did not know that.
January through about mid to late March. That's when all these companies and hospital systems and healthcare institutions have their annual budgets, like they're brand new. They just closed out the last quarter. So they do the majority of their hiring in the first quarter of this year. So we are in prime hiring season. So it's a great time to make sure your resume is updated and your LinkedIn is shining and optimized so that if opportunities come your way, you're ready.
And see, I never would have thought of that. Being a school-based occupational therapist, we always get hired in August. But right now is when the schools are making their budgets for next year. So therapists that are looking for a job in the future, this is the time to get your name out there, especially on LinkedIn, because administrators are out there and they don't want to just hire off some list, a random stranger, although sometimes there's no choice. But to actually have your name out there and be networking and connecting with people, this is the great time. And this is actually back to school right now for Australia.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I like to play around on TikTok. So I have some silly videos to get us started. So the first one is just a few tips on how to prepare yourself for hiring season. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
I told you it was silly. And there's also this other really cool hack that most people don't know. But if you're applying to jobs on LinkedIn and you have a premium profile, which means I believe you pay $29.99 a month, when you apply to a job, if there's 10 other candidates, LinkedIn will show you how you compare to those candidates. They'll say, all right, here's your competition and their top 10 skills. And they'll show you what your skills are compared to what their skills are. So this is just a really cool little LinkedIn hack that I shared the other day. Hopefully it plays for you. There it goes. So they'll give you this list.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a cool little hack. So if you want to know how you measure up against other applicants, LinkedIn will show you.
Which really, like, for other people that might have certain certifications or certain badges, it gives you an idea of what you might want to get for yourself.
Yes.
Or what skills to highlight that you have that they don't have.
Oh, sorry about that. My computer's lighting up over here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Tanya. I'm an occupational therapist turned healthcare career strategist. And if you don't know what those words mean, because I kind of just made them up, it means that I write resumes, I do professional branding for healthcare professionals, I do one-on-one coaching, I do everything you need done to level you up in your career, whether that's pursuing another career, getting a promotion, entering into leadership, or maybe you just don't know what you want to be when you grow up and you need some clarity. I work with healthcare professionals across the spectrum. I've worked with physicians, PTs, SLPs, PAs, NPs, RNs, all the letters, the whole alphabet, all of them. So we have lots of services, and LinkedIn is my specialty. So that's where I focus a lot of my time. I write profiles, I do courses. So when Jamie approached me about talking about LinkedIn, I was like, yes, yeah, sign me up. I am so ready for that.
Yeah, because so many of my school-based occupational therapists that follow me are, how do I get the job that I want? How do I get hired? What do I need to do? What should it's overwhelming, the whole process.
Yes. And I'm sure you all know who Jamie is, but
So my name's Jamie Spencer. I'm a school-based occupational therapist for 22 years, and I'm very passionate about occupational therapy advocacy. So as I said, I'm not using LinkedIn to find a new job, but I'm using LinkedIn to connect with other people in the education field to really market myself as an educational advocate.
very cool. Great place to do all of those things. Okay, so again, we're covering 3 reasons of 100 reasons why you should be on LinkedIn. And there's this very popular saying, I don't know if you've heard it, Jamie. My partner's name is Joni. There's this popular saying on LinkedIn that your net worth is in your network. And basically, what that means is the larger your network and the more engaged your network, the more opportunities come to you. And as I've focused on growing my network over the past about year and a half, I get messages every day. I've been approached again for podcasts and things like that, but other cool opportunities have also come my way. There was this, I think he was an audiology engineer, and he was designing music curriculum for pediatric patients, and he wanted an occupational therapist with a sensory background to test out the curriculum for him and use it in their practice. I don't treat anymore at this time, so I wasn't a good candidate, but it was definitely a very cool opportunity. And there's no
Yes.
other place where I would have been approached with something like that.
Mhm.
So things like that happen all the time on LinkedIn. There's so many people out there looking for specific things, and you might just have the superpower that completes their project. So keep your eyes and ears open for opportunity on LinkedIn. They're everywhere.
And I think a lot of people are looking for something, how do I want to say it, that lights them up. They might be fine with their day-to-day job, but they love occupational therapy, or they love some other aspect that can be combined with occupational therapy, and they want some kind of something to sink their teeth into that lights them up and that they're passionate about. And that is exactly what you're going to find on LinkedIn.
Another great example of this, and now that I'm saying it, I realize I never responded to this person because it happens all the time. So there's so many opportunities. But I had a physiotherapist, I believe he was from the UK. He had approached me, and he was designing automations, videos of different anatomy and physiology terms, but he was making it engaging, and he wanted me to write, because I do technical writing too.
Right.
He wanted me to write copy for the videos that he could use to make them more engaging to his audience.
That's fun.
And I never responded to him. And I just realized that just now, because those things happen all the time on LinkedIn. So
put it on your to-do list.
Yes, put it on my to-do list. I think I shared it with my writing community to see if anyone else was interested. But you can also, this is another little semi-reason, we'll put it as an umbrella under reason 1. You can also publish your own articles on LinkedIn. A lot of people don't know that. So you can, if there's a topic that you're passionate about or very knowledgeable about, maybe sensory processing or school-based occupational therapy or whatever, you can write an article and publish it on LinkedIn and really align yourself as a subject matter expert, and people can comment on your content and share it. And it's just a great place to connect.
That's one of my goals for this year.
Yeah, you have a lot of goals this year. I think LinkedIn's going to be a big catalyst for those goals. Yeah. So that's reason number 1. The bigger your network, the bigger your net worth, the more opportunities are coming your way. All right, reason number 2, and this is for people who are looking for jobs, or maybe not really looking for jobs full time, but kind of keeping their eye out in case something comes across their screen that they're interested in applying to. But there's this term in career coaching, and we call it the hidden job market. Have you heard of the hidden job market, Jamie?
No.
The hidden job market are positions that are not publicly posted. So they're not on Indeed. They're not posted on the company page. They're posted internally. So the only people who know about these open positions are the people that work within the company. So how do you access them? Through networking. They say, you network with somebody who knows of this opening, and they say, hey, we're hiring for this position and we need somebody with your skill set. Can you send me your resume so I can pass it on to the hiring manager? And that's how you access the hidden job market. There's only one way in, and it's through networking.
It's
and
who you know.
Platform to network on? LinkedIn. What were you going to say, Jamie?
It's who you know.
It's all about who you know.
And it's not like, that's the thing with technology, and especially with everything that's happened to us in the past few years. But, you don't have to know them in real life. You feel like you know them. Like, I mean, I talk to you all the time. I feel like I know you, but we've not met in real life. And
True.
it doesn't matter because in today's day and age, technology is where it's at.
Yes, actually, and my partner Joni and I, we own this business together, and I've never met her in person because she lives in Oregon and I live in New York.
Wow.
So yeah, the technology is incredible right now. So definitely take advantage of it. Oh, it looks like we have a comment. In Canada, the new budget starts in May. Oh, I did not know that.
So I would think, I wonder if that's when, oh, here she goes, for publicly funded healthcare programs.
Okay.
Very good to know.
Yeah, that is good to know because I didn't know that. So I guess it is hiring season in the United States. I'll have to make sure I clarify where I'm talking about next time I talk about hiring season. It is hiring season in the United States, first quarter of the year. So that's how you access the hidden job market. That's what the hidden job market is. And you know what I should do, Jamie, is I should let everyone in the webinar see my resume before I started doing this. And it will definitely be a prime example of how networking leads to opportunity, because I landed a college teaching position with this resume. And when I tell you it's horrible, I'm not exaggerating. It's bad. It's so bad.
How old is it?
Oh, probably like 5-6 years old. I didn't know. I didn't know how to create a resume that showcased my skills.
Isn't that crazy? And now you're a resume writer.
Now I'm a resume writer. Yes. It was also a very different world back then. It really was. I don't know when you graduated, Jamie, but when I graduated, I literally needed a license number, and the job market was so insanely open to job seekers. I had landed a position before I finished my clinical rotations. I already had a full-time position lined up. Wow. And the people that are graduating right now are graduating into a job market that's highly competitive. It's just a completely different world.
Yeah.
And I only graduated, not only 11 years ago, but yeah, it's completely different.
So Kelly is saying it really is. I'm trying to get connected with the right people for sure, trying to find those opportunities. Awesome. Kelly, I'm really excited. I want you to promise me that you'll let us know what happens after you start really engaging on LinkedIn. I've already had a few of those instances like Tanya mentioned.
Yeah, and you don't even need a huge network for those types of things to start coming to you. The bigger your network, the more opportunities are going to come to you, but you can start with a small engaged network, and the things that will come to you are incredible. They really are.
And I've found just as I've just recently started getting more and more engaged, but I've found that people don't make a comment unless it's an engaged comment. Mm-hmm. You know, people aren't just there to kind of open their mouths and say nothing. Like I feel like on Facebook, people kind of just add to they don't even say anything.
Add to the noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on LinkedIn, people really have things to add to the conversation.
I do find that the comment section on LinkedIn posts are much more intentional. They really are trying to add value to the conversation, where Facebook is there's a lot of debates. And like I said, I just get a bad feeling after I leave Facebook. But LinkedIn's a whole different animal. So LinkedIn's like a golden retriever. Just loves everybody. All right, so let's go to reason number 3. This is the only platform where you're going to have direct access to people who make hiring decisions, and direct access to recruiters who get paid to fill positions. You can connect with them directly. You can email them. They will send jobs to you. You can have a relationship with them. Joni has a great story. I always tell this story. She networked with a recruiter because she was interested in a position at a certain company. She kept applying to this company over and over and over again, and it just never really worked out. 5 years went by, but she stayed in touch with the original recruiter who reached out to her. They reached out to her again and they said, "Hey, Joni, there's this operations manager position open at that company that you wanted to work for. I think you should apply." So she looked at the job description and she wrote back to them. She's like, "I really appreciate you thinking of me, but it's only open to RNs. They're not accepting applications from any clinicians." That recruiter went to the hiring department, the HR department, and they changed the job description for her.
Good.
So she was able to apply for that position with an OT and MPH degree, and she landed it. because she networked
awesome.
with a recruiter and maintained that relationship.
Wow.
So even if you're not looking for opportunities right now, you don't know what you're going to be doing in 5 years.
That's true.
So build these relationships. Relationships take time to build. So build these relationships now, and they might bring beautiful opportunities in the future. And LinkedIn is a place where you can definitely do that, because that's one of the primary reasons to be on the platform is to connect with people who make hiring decisions, and decisions within the company too, not even just hiring decisions. They have decision-making skills or decision-making capacity for the future of the company, where it's going to go, what the vision looks like. So you can really connect and network with high-level execs who can make real change.
That is my goal in life.
I know, and that has your name written all over it.
It does. I'm like, I want to find all the educational administrators and they can have my ear. I want their ear so I can explain to them why occupational therapists should have equal rights in the school districts. And the fact that we don't is crazy. And I'm gonna make a lot of noise over there.
You're gonna change the world. You're gonna change the world.
Yes.
One LinkedIn connection at a time.
Yes.
Yes. I did have someone in our event chat earlier mention, and I get this question a lot when I do coaching, so I want to make sure I address it. They mentioned that when they reach out to people, they feel like they are, I think they used, this is not my word, I believe they said annoying. They didn't want to seem annoying. But I feel as though people are on LinkedIn because they want to connect. They want to build their network. And I don't recommend reaching out. Like if Jamie was the hiring manager at a company that I wanted to work for, I don't recommend your initial contact with that person being, hey, Jamie, my name's Tanya. Can you get me a job?
Right.
That's not what you want to do. Again, you want to build a relationship. So you want to find levels of similarity. So, hi, Jamie, I see that you're an occupational therapist in the school-based system, and I have a pediatric background. I'd love to add you to my professional network. And then start engaging from there. Build common ground. You wouldn't walk up to somebody at a real-life conference and ask them what they could do for you. Always provide value first. Lead with value. And build relationships upon value and similarity. And that's how relationships like the one I was talking about with Joni's situation, that's how they blossom into something beautiful. So don't worry about being annoying, just be polite. And people are very willing to connect on LinkedIn.
Right.
It's much more of you don't hide as much as on LinkedIn. I'm kind of a lurker. I don't know about others, but I'm kind of a lurker on Facebook. I don't engage as much. I do engage sometimes, but LinkedIn, I post, comment, share every day. I'm on there.
Yeah.
It's not a place to hide. So
we're having a couple of comments, and someone made a comment. Yes, Jamie. Yes, I think about my advocacy bit. Yeah. But if I'm not able to see your name, guys, just go to streamyard.com/Facebook so that you can see your name, because I want to network with you. I need to know your name. I've definitely been trying to advocate in that way for physicians, at least applying for positions for non-OT, hoping they'd see value in my experiences. So I'm really hoping, Kelly, I'm hoping that with this video and with our webinar that we're having coming up and with our boot camp, that more OT practitioners will join me over on LinkedIn in this advocacy bit, because it needs to be coming from a lot of us. It needs to be influential. You need to hear a message from lots and lots of people before it becomes very commonplace.
yes.
So we all need to be sharing these. So
Get loud.
when I self-publish my article about advocacy, I'm hoping you all will share it for me so that we can get it out there. Let's get these administrators convinced.
Yes. And knowing your value, that's the number one theme I see across the board with every client I have, whether they're a C-level executive to a new graduate coming out of school. They have no idea the value that they really do bring to the organizations, and they don't know how to market that value. And when you know how to market your value and you know how to negotiate what you're worth, that's when you find a career alignment and you find appreciation and you get paid what you were worth. So all of these things are going to be covered in the professional branding webinar. How to market your skills. How do you say that you consistently meet patient satisfaction and you get high scores across the board with quality improvement and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to dive really deep into on the webinar. It's how to market those things.
Love it.
Yeah. So that was my last reason. I could keep going, but we only have a few minutes left.
We're almost at to 30. How about some questions? Oh, okay. Metrics.
Oh, yeah. I do have some numbers just so that you know that I'm not full of baloney.
I have to interrupt you before you even go into it.
Yes.
Tanya. When you presented at the NYSOTA conference, the metric was what really grabbed me. I was like,
good.
I need to know this. I did not know this.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
didn't know that metrics was so important to include on my resume and my LinkedIn profile either.
Mm-hmm.
I need to really tighten things up and do that work.
Well, the reason that metrics and quantitative data are important across the board is because the person who receives your resume might not be an OT. So it might just be a hiring manager who posted the position, and their job is to pass your resume on to the OT department. So if you can quantify your achievements, those numbers are easier to understand for the person that's reading your resume, especially if they don't know what an OT does. And most recruiters who hire for OT positions don't know what we do. So they can say they've hired tons of OTs, but if you said, what does an OT do every day? They'd be like, I don't know. I just fill positions. So that's the reason quantitative data is really important.
And what do you like? Can you give us a better example of that? Because I feel like if you're not in the field, you're like, what do you mean quantitative? What are you saying?
Yeah, let me think of one. So we like to use, when we write job function bullets within resumes and on LinkedIn profiles, we like to use a template that we call CAR statements. And what that stands for is challenge, action, result. So what challenge did you face? What action did you take? And what was the outcome or result? And that's where you can infuse the metric. So let's say, I'll just talk about productivity because I feel like that's a standard across several healthcare platforms.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of clinicians, no matter what discipline you were in, have to have, some sort of, be compliant with some sort of productivity. Yeah. So you could say consistently met 85% productivity rate 90% of the time over this time frame. So just try to infuse metrics. So your job from this day forward, when you go to work tomorrow, is I want you to start thinking about the things that you do all day long that you can quantify. I don't care what position you're in, you can quantify something. So even if you're in the custodial arts, you can quantify the number of floor or, the number of feet, square footage that you have to cover within the time span of your day, of your 8-hour day. So there's always something that you can quantify. So start paying attention to that.
And I think, I'm coming back from that school-based perspective, but for me, I'm the only OT for an entire school district. So I reach a lot of the elementary schools with just the hit of a button by sending out an email to everybody. And I have all of those elementary teachers saying to me, I need that resource again. Tell me, so that would be a way that I could quantify it to say, assisting this many elementary school teachers with proactive measures for helping children in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you.
Another one I hear a lot when I work with clients is they're like, oh, you know what? I created a screening tool. I'm like, that's huge. That's not on your resume anywhere. And what was the result of that screening tool? They're like, oh, we got 50 referrals that week. I'm like, so you exponentially increase the number of referrals to your clinic. That's a metric.
That's humongous.
That's huge because generating money, no matter what business you're in, people want employees that generate money.
Or in the schools, they want employees that stop referrals. So the metric I said before would be reach this many teachers to this many students on the general education level, resulting in a decrease in referrals by 10%.
Yes. Yep.
Very cool.
That's a perfect example. Yeah. So we're at the end. So just some really quick numbers for LinkedIn. 72% of recruiters use LinkedIn to fill positions. So 72% of people who are filling positions globally are on LinkedIn actively looking for people to fill those positions. Over the pandemic, 300,000 remote jobs were posted. And that's the hot topic right now. Everybody wants to work from home. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for a remote job, maybe a non-clinical position like UR or UM, LinkedIn is going to be your jam. 3 people are hired every minute on LinkedIn. So if you're actively job seeking, every
Wow.
minute 3 people are hired. 122 million people received an interview through LinkedIn, with 35.5 million being hired by a person that they connected with on LinkedIn, because your net worth is in your network.
That is amazing. Wow.
So get out there and network.
So we want to invite you to join us. As we said, we're going to be hosting an hour-and-a-half webinar on January 10th at 8 p.m. And we're going to be talking about more than just a resume and finding a new job and LinkedIn. We're going to be talking about everything that we talked about tonight, plus so much more. We're really going to be diving into the metrics of
Oh,
why
I have so much more.
it's so important.
So much more. There's so much strategy, and you'll have to wait and see, because I will not shut up if I keep going.
I'm going to just share the link with everybody if you want to find out more about the other topics that we have coming up. We're going to be doing a video on Wednesday. We're going to be doing one on Friday. And then we have our webinar January 10th for an hour and a half. You can purchase AOTA CEUs if you want, or you can just get the information for free. We just want to educate people about this and help everybody to achieve their potential this year.
Yes.
And then we also have the boot camp. We haven't released all of the details about that yet, but it's coming really soon. And that's going to be very exciting. January 22nd and 23rd, a live boot camp where we give you all the information that you need to get started. Then we have a break, implementation time, get it done. And then we meet back again in the evening to go over what you did, what questions you have. We're going to be doing live reviews of resumes and LinkedIn profiles. It's going to be very different than any other workshop I've ever
It's going to be lit.
And I love that.
I don't know if people still say that. Thank you, everybody. It was so much fun. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody. See you Wednesday, same place, 8 o'clock EST. And I'll be sending you guys the replay, so don't worry if you missed anything. And I'll do the same for Wednesday and Friday. Have a good night, everybody.